Well, would you look at what we got here? It's officially happened. Too bad my co-host isn't here today so I can gloat. Pudgy Penguins officially flips Polygon in market cap. Yeah, that's my intro. Roll the intro. Let's go. Roll the intro. Damn you, Rob. I wish you were here today. I wish you were here today, Rob. We'd have a fun show, but it's me. I'm here with, of course, the team here at Sin City Crypto. And all jokes aside, well, it's not a joke. It happened. Pudgy Penguins flip Polygon. Something I said would happen. Something that Rob now says, I said it jokingly. He did not say jokingly. So anyone who has the clip of him, me and him arguing over who's going to perform better, do me a favor. DM me on X. Send it to me, and I'll share it, and I'll give you your credit. But Pudgy Penguins has been on absolute fire. I did put out a Patreon post about a week ago when it was down around 15%. I made a pretty big move into Pudgy Penguins. So those of you that are in our Patreon and you followed, congrats, because you're up like 25, 30%. Also on today's show, we're going to talk some Bitcoin. Michael Saylor bought again. Ethereum. Now, the theme of today's show is ETH, okay? ETH. The ecosystem is starting to heat up. Are we seeing a traditional rotation from Bitcoin to ETH and then from ETH to mid cap and small caps? We'll talk about that. There's one trader / investor who believes the cycle top is close. I'll give my thoughts on that. We have some altcoin news from Caspa, from Say. Chainlink's been running. XRP's been running. We're giving away 3 of these wallets today. Compliments of Decent. And so I'll kind of share that and what it's going to take to win one of those. So welcome. There's another show that does that. Who does that? Anyways, all right. So we already talked about Pudgy Penguins, so I guess we can talk about something else. We can talk about Saylor. Miguel Saylor has acquired 6,220 Bitcoin for $740 million at a price of the top per Bitcoin, and has achieved Bitcoin yield of 20 per blah, blah, blah. As of now, they officially hold, well, they were holding, but 607,770 BTC that they've acquired at an average price of 71,756 BTC. So the trend continues. Saylor buys. Other treasury companies, I feel like every day are born. Now, a lot of people have pointed to this trend of new treasury companies as a big potential failed point, right? If one of these bigger ones, I would say maybe top 5, I wouldn't say outside the top 5, but if a top 5 treasury company blows up and has to sell their Bitcoin, it could cause a ripple effect. Obviously, at the top of that list is going to be MicroStrategy. I'm not saying this is going to be what happens, but of course, it's an inherent risk that we have to think about. And so just keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind. Always store your Bitcoin on a hardware wallet. If you can, it's worth it, I promise. Then you look at this. Google searches for buy Bitcoin have spiked. This is from Google Trends. I think this is over the last 12 months. Could be over the last 2 years. I'm not sure, but people are taking notice. We had the president last week said he's going to sign an executive order to allow the $9 trillion that is currently sitting in 401k accounts to have access to Bitcoin and crypto. Now, we haven't seen the effects of that yet. We also have the money market funds, and I talk about this all the time. What people forget, you don't see it posted everywhere. I just want to remind you guys that there's a potential $15 trillion. I don't know how much of that could be entering in to Bitcoin and crypto over the next 3 to 6 months, maybe shorter, maybe longer. I don't know. But you got to figure once rates are down, money market funds will move outside of where they are, and the money market funds into the equities markets, aka stocks, aka Bitcoin, aka crypto. And then, of course, the 401k with what Trump is going to do if he does it. Maybe he did it already. I'm not sure. Someone correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. But if that happens as well, what are the financial advisors going to be advising their clients to allocate? Is it going to be 1%? Is it going to be 5%? It's going to be like someone, I think we shared this 2-3 weeks ago. The top financial advising firm in the entire country is telling people to put 40% into crypto. Could it be that large amount? I don't know. But 15 trillion, some of that will get into crypto. And so, well, you can do the math on what that means. This was an interesting post here by Mr. Will Clemente. So he posted this on July 13th. This was his original post. In the grand scheme of things, froth in the altcoin market can get a lot worse from here. Both major tops so far this cycle, March of 2024 and December of 2024, coincided with altcoin open interest flipping Bitcoin open interest on a percentage basis. And while this is the chart that he's referring to, in the blue is Bitcoin open interest. In the orange is altcoin open interest. And you can see here, the two red circled areas are where the orange surpasses the blue, aka altcoin open interest surpasses Bitcoin. And he's saying that these have been the tops. Now, I'm not saying they're cycle tops, obviously, because this happened a year ago and, well, Bitcoin is still making new all-time highs. But at least it was a local top. And, well, look at what he pointed out now. Just a week later, already getting close. You can see here, this was, again, posted a week ago. Look at the gap there between Bitcoin's open interest and altcoin open interest. And look where it's at now. It's closing in. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Search volume, though, is dropping is rising on Bitcoin. And we know a certain set of altcoins have ran. So this is, I'm not saying that this means a top is near, but it's very interesting. It's an interesting analysis by Will Clemente, who's one of the best analysts in our space. So that's something to keep an eye on. I don't know if you're into indicators, metrics, whatever you like to do to measure whether a top is close or it's here. This is one I would recommend potentially keeping an eye on. Also, before I forget, I do have a goal. Open up the club. It'll be me, Gina, and our team back here. No Rob, so it should be a lot funner if you want to contribute to the goal. Also, big shout out to Brian Baca, who's officially a sinner. Repent for your sins. Just kidding. Thanks for your support, Brian. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Gina, do we still have that really cool animation for a new member? Should be like Crypto Fam or something. I want to show my boy Brian some love if we got it. I don't know if we have it. There we go. Welcome, Brian. Appreciate all of you that support us, and big thank you to the mods as well. Michael Saylor ain't the only one buying Bitcoin. Trump Media, which is ran by his sons, his kids, but hey, it's got the Trump name to it. Trump Media has accumulated $2 billion in Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related securities. Trump Media plans to continue acquiring Bitcoin and to convert its options into spot Bitcoin. This is big, right? No bullshit futures contracts. This is actual spot. You're holding it. Now, are they going to do it through an ETF? Are they going to do it through a custody service like MicroStrategy does? I don't know, but either way, you got Trump and Bitcoin and buying. It's going to move the needle for some people, right? People always look for that confirmation bias. If everyone's doing it, it must be good. If Trump's doing it, I'm a big Trump supporter, it must be really good. If Apple is buying Bitcoin, then why shouldn't I buy Bitcoin? It's that confirmation bias that people look for, and then the floodgates start to open. And so interesting there. And then this was posted by Chris Marsazlik. Hope I said his last name correctly. CEO of Crypto.com. Said Crypto.com is proud to work with the Trump Media team on the execution of this Bitcoin purchase. And so we know Crypto.com does have ties to Trump. And I don't want to say the White House, but at the very least, the Trump team and the company, the media company, as they launched their ETF through Crypto.com. And so this is great for Crypto.com, the platform. What does it mean for Crow? I don't think it means anything. But you get people onto Crypto.com. Hey, we got this badass layer one, Kronos, use it. You know, you save on fees, you get rewards, yada, yada. And so I think that closed loop of that ecosystem, really, anything that helps Crow is going to help Crypto.com and vice versa as well. Also, Brian with $2 super chat said, hit the like. Yes, please hit the like. We got, how many people we got in here? 147 people, 43 likes. Do us a favor, like the video. Also, if there's anything you'd like to, actually, I'm going to start a Q&A. Ask me anything, and I will answer. Interesting to see. So just start a Q&A. Do me a favor. Drop some questions in there. If you want to be my co-host today, you can do so through the Q&A. Okay. This is from CoinShares. Let's take a look at what Wall Street did last week, what institutions did last week. Take a look at this bar chart here. I believe that's an all-time high, correct? Or it's either an all-time high in flows for the week, or it matched the last all-time high, which was, I don't know, the 41st week or the 47th week. This week right here, this blue bar. Okay. Oh, damn. Jimmy, the $100 super chat said, divide this by 5. I ain't got no time for 5 super chats. Okay, so this means the club is going to open. Gina, as soon as I'm done with this article, the club shall be opened. Okay, Jimmy, appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Jimmy carrying the weight for everyone, throwing all of us on his back, carrying us to the promised land. All right, so ETF flows. We'll take a look. Obviously, BlackRock was number 1. iShares, that is a BlackRock product, 4.3. Just wrap your mind around this, okay? Almost $5 billion of Bitcoin was bought by one company on behalf of their clients, which is BlackRock. Okay? Net total for the week was $4.4 billion. Bitcoin saw $2.19 billion. And look at this, you guys. Ethereum, $2.118 billion. Now, correct me if I am wrong, but this is the largest weekly inflows we have ever seen on Ethereum, bringing the month-to-date total to $3.3 billion, year-to-date to $6.19. But it wasn't just Ethereum that saw notable inflows. XRP saw 36.1 million flow in from institutions. Solana saw damn near 40 million flow in to the institutions. SWI 9.3. Everything else is negligible. Chainlink, Cardano, 0.9, 0.3 respectively, bringing the cumulative total for all of it to $4.392 billion. And so while your neighbor or your mom or your dad or your brother or friend is telling you you're stupid for buying Bitcoin, let them know that some of the smartest people with the most money in the world are accumulating at a rapid rate, more than the amount of Bitcoin that is produced every single day. And so this is big, my friends. If you're sitting there wondering when we're going to see the price shock, you're starting to see it in spurts. You're going to continue to see it in spurts. You'll get one big fat leg up, and then it'll just be spurts. And so that's my thesis. With that being said, Gina, open up the club. With the move, let's go, girl. The Lord's work is done, said Jimmy. Guys, this is what price action is going to. Oh, I went away. I just said what price action start looking like. Jimmy, thank you very much for opening up the club. We like to have fun here on the show. DJ Gina mixing up. You know, I had a cousin who was a DJ. I don't talk to him anymore. He's a POS, but I don't mean proof of stake. It's the other POS. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we went over Bitcoin. Okay, we went over the flows. Let's take a peek at our friend Ethereum. You know what? Actually, I'm not looking at our friend Ethereum. Gina, we're first going to look at a Bitcoin price, Bitcoin chart. By the way, speaking of charts, I will be manning the stream today on Sistine Trading. Come join me there for more charts, 100% chart focus and fundamental focus. Scam likely, perfect. Okay, so you know, I was looking through my charts yesterday, and I was plotting this out, and just an absolute massive bull flag on the Bitcoin chart here. I wanted to short the top end of this range here at 118.8. I didn't do so, but what I will do is I will long 117, which, by the way, let me open up, let me get on weeks real quick. Those of you that are not on weeks, do me a favor, create an account, log in, they're doing a badass giveaway. And so, yeah, I think you can get up to $30,000 in USDT. Some of it's volume related. Some of it is not. And so, of course, I get the longest freaking... Okay, no more buses. Come on. Come on. Okay, good. Verify. Of course. All right, what's going on back there? What, are we talking about, a fight or something, or what? Okay, if come on, no more buses. Jesus Christ. All right, I do have what I'm trying to tell you is I do have a Bitcoin long in at 116.9. Of course. They're all laughing at me because I'm trying to get this damn freaking login.
You okay?
You know what's funny? All the computers log this out of everything here. It'll take me one quick second. 872-733. There we go. And it went away. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'll log in later. What was that? RustyBot said his home is leaking. Interesting. Okay. So what I was trying to say is I have a long order already open at 116.9 for BTC. But, of course, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, right? Not a financial advice. But if you're looking for a long entry, my friends, 117.63 would be the bottom end of our range. We might wick below, as you can see here. On its first leg down, we did wick to 115.8. We wicked to 116.9. We wicked to 116.5, 116.6. And so just make sure you're not using too much leverage. You're adding enough margin so you don't get stopped out on a wick. I wouldn't expect to wick to go any lower than the previous one, which is 116.533. But if you want to be absolutely sure, make sure that your liquidation is beneath $115,000. But if all holds, right? And the one thing we are seeing, you guys know I love to look at volume, is on each one of these legs up, we are seeing volume increase on BTC. So that is obviously a positive. And so if you're looking for a setup, long Bitcoin, 117.099, bottom end of the range, and then look to potentially take profits at the top end of the range if you're looking to scalp the trade. Or if you're comfortable staying in the trade until we see this breakout, which, by the way, this would be an absolutely massive measured move. Let's say the breakout comes here. You're looking at a $130.5 thousand Bitcoin. And so whether you're looking to scalp, enter at 117, get out before it hits the top end of this range, which again is at $119,000. Or if you're comfortable riding this thing back down to the bottom of the range, I don't know how long this thing is going to be range bound, maybe for a week, maybe for 2 weeks, maybe for 2 days, I don't know. And you feel comfortable holding it, have your profit target below $129,000, whether that's 100% of your profit or potentially, I don't know, a certain percentage. But Bitcoin looks good, my friends. As long as we don't break below that 117 and close below, we'll still be in this bull flag. So yeah, so that's BTC. Okay, let's talk about Ethereum. Today's thumbnail has ETH. It says ETH's turn. I've been hounding and pounding and dreaming and scheming on ways to explain to you for the last 6 months that Ethereum was extremely undervalued. Those of you that listened to me, thank you. Those of you that didn't, why? Why? I know what I'm talking about. I do my research. I follow a lot of shite. Ethereum's institutional surge signals imminent break above $4,000, which we're already almost there. We'll take a peek at the ETH chart here in a second. 2 fresh wallets, likely linked to institutions, scooped up over 58,000 Ethereum, valued at around $212 million via Galaxy Digital and Falcon X. Separate whale also moved with a $50 million buy from Binance, right? That was spot, or potentially that was OTC, according to on-chain analyst Ember CN. Now, we take a look at Ethereum ecosystem, okay? Let's look at the number 1 gainers. Caspa, number 2, up 15%. Did publish a Caspa video right before we went live. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it after the show. If you have watched it and you're joining us from that video, welcome. But you take a look down the line. Athena, up 10%. Again, this is a project that fits into one of my 3 verticals, 3 narratives for crypto that I believe are going to make you a lot of money, which is stablecoin, DeFi, institutional plays. Now, it's a long word, but Athena is one of them, okay? We had Dogecoin rally. You know, that's not an ETH ecosystem play, but we take a look at ETH on DeFi Llama. Okay. Let's take a look. Chains. Total TVL sitting at 140 billion. Over the last 7 days, Ethereum's TVL has gained 15.8%. Over the last 1 month, the largest gainer. Let's see how far we got to scroll down. We got to scroll down to number 14. Shout out to Say. We got to scroll down to number 14 to find the next biggest gainer, or the biggest gainer outside of ETH. Okay? 53% TVL surge. And you take a look at some of the DEXs. I mean, just take a look at these numbers, you guys. Stablecoin market cap, $130 billion. Chain revenue, just shy of $1 million over the last 24 hours. DEX volume rising. Fees paid are going down, which is really, really good. And then stablecoin market cap, you see that massive surge. July 16th, it was at 125 billion. It is at 129 billion just 5 days later. And you take a look at the number one is Lido, which, by the way, I was in the Forest Cystine Research Towns, and I put in, guys, watch out for Lido, because once ETH staking is approved for the ETFs, where are they going to stake it? Well, Lido, you got a few options. You got Lido, you got Rocket Pool, and you got a few other ones. But you're probably, if you're an institution like BlackRock, you're probably going to want to go with the one that has the most liquidity, that's been around the longest, and it's got a TVL of $35 billion. Now, Lido's token is just a governance token, but still doesn't mean people are not going to try to speculate and make money, as will I. And then Aave, their TVL over the last 7 days up 14%. And then just about, Eigenlayer, EtherFi, Athena up 16%. I talked about some of my other favorite plays, you guys. Let's take a look at one of them. Convex Finance. This thing has been crushing. Last 7 days, up 11%. Last 1 month, up 78% over the last 1 month. So those of you that are part of our Patreon or Discord or watch the show, you guys know that I've been harping on stablecoin plays and DeFi specifically, and Convex has always been at the top of my conversation. My favorites has been Convex. Take a look at this on the daily. Massive run from $2.12. Guys, just 15 days ago, coming into a bull flag. You see a lot of these bull flags on the dailies. On a lot of these altcoins, this one's range is fairly tight. If we decide to just measure the bodies, not the candles, see here. Say this is more of a bull pennant. And we're getting close to the end of that range, my friends. And so if you're sitting here watching and saying, damn it, David, I was too cheap. I couldn't spend $20 to be part of your Patreon and get the alpha before it ran. That's okay. If you feel like you're sidelined and you want to get into this one, I would wait till this thing hits the bottom end of this range, okay? Of course, not financial advice. $4.10. It should see a really, really nice bounce. I did see a comment from someone that said, doesn't weeks make you KYC? No, they don't. You can KYC for higher limits on withdrawals, but it's not necessary. And you don't need to use a VPN either. So Rusty said, I'm not cheap, I'm broke. BS, Rusty. I know you're making some money on your portfolio, brother. I know you. So yeah, Convex Finance has been crushing it. Another one, again, I mentioned Athena. Let's take a peek at an Athena chart. And again, if you want more in-depth analysis as far as charts, just stay in the chat, and you'll be redirected to Cystine Trading. Well, I'll be doing the trading show there. Athena has been absolutely ripping. I mean, look at this volume surge, my friends. Right? This was your canary in the coal mine. Okay, massive spike in volume, right? On this candle, this is where Athena went from open and swing high, 36%. They saw it draw down back down around 32 cents. And this would have been a great entry. And you can see here across this entire move, volume has been rapidly increasing. This move has legs. I love legs. Beautiful toned legs. And this one's got it. Okay. This one's got it. It's got the beautiful legs. The most beautiful legs we've ever seen. The volume on their legs is great. It's going up and down. I'm on one today, man. I don't care. And so Athena, again, now I will say tokenomics on this one are pretty shitty. A lot of unlocks, fully diluted to floating. Fully diluted to floating is not that great. Let's take a peek here on ENA. Also, I believe their rich list is fairly ugly. Fully diluted 8.1. With a market cap of 3.5 billion, that is. And so out of the total 15% supply, only less than 50% is circulating currently. One more thing I want to take a look at. Let's take a look at our rich list. Take a see how concentrated the holdings on ENA are. Rich list. Okay, so it has zero info here. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, what I was trying to look at here, my friends, is on the right side. See what percentage of total tokens the top 10 holders hold, 20, 50, and 100. But it obviously doesn't have that info here. But Athena, again, if you're looking, again, you were stuck in no man's land, and well, you couldn't really get the Patreon. I mean, the next level for a pullback, I'm just looking at SR levels here. 45.32 cents. That's when Athena bumped up a few times, got rejected. I would like to see a move back down here. I'll drop a flag so everyone can see. 45.5 cents. Again, would love to see a pullback there. See some traders take profits, reset the funding rates, and see the next leg up for Athena. Maybe it comes in and gets into a bull flag, just like we saw with Convex Finance, and we get that entry at 45.5. That would also be a great scalp setup on a long if you're looking to long this, but not something I'd put in as a limit order. It's something I would put an alert on to watch and see. On the daily, you see the RSI stochastics are starting to clip. How deep will they go? But I mean, this is the deepest momentum wave, guys, we've gotten. And let me go ahead and just throw horizontal here so we can take a peek. When was the last time we saw a never? We've never seen momentum waves as high as they are now on Athena, according to Market Cipher B. Money flow is starting to it's starting to clip. Money flow is starting to flatten out. But will we get a reversal back to the upside? VWAP exploded above our zero line, or actually came in here on a U, exploded, starting to kind of level off as well. But again, this is on the daily time frame. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame tells us this Athena's move is just getting started. Look at that VWAP. VWAP is sitting at 23, the highest again it's ever been. RSI on the up and up, and momentum waves have officially crossed above zero. The only thing we haven't had is money flow. We need money flow to cross above our midline and enter into the green. This is on the weekly. Let's take a look at what the candles tell us on the weekly time frame for Athena. Let's take a peek here. Let me get rid of some of these beautiful drawings. The best drawings anyone's ever seen. That accent is so fun to do, by the way. Have you guys tried to do a Donald Trump accent? It's very fun. Okay. I mean, what? This is the three white soldiers. If you follow Japanese candlestick, right? Massive bodied candles to the upside. And let me get rid of these. We'll take a look at the volume on the weekly as well. New high on the weekly volume last week, right? Where will this go? We want it to be higher, right? We want that volume to be higher than previous week. We still have around 6 days and 6 hours left. So although the volume is showing fairly low, about a quarter or a third of what we saw last week, there's still a lot of time for buyers to step in. And again, guys, this is a institutional DeFi stablecoin play on Ethereum. And this chart has been fairly ugly, but I mean, this is like the booby pattern, right? Those are like double D's, right? Booby pattern. Throw a little areola on there. Sorry for all the ladies watching if I'm being a little too forthcoming, but booby pattern, double bottom. Should see this thing explode to the upside. You guys having fun back there? Everyone's having fun back there. I'm also having fun back there. And so keep an eye on Athena, keep an eye on Convex, keep an eye on Curve, Asymmetry Finance. Let's take a peek at an ASF chart really quick. And again, I'll go more in depth on the trading show. Let's pull up ASF. Now, this one doesn't have nearly as much liquidity, but what gives me confidence on this one, guys, is it is backed by Fidelity. Backed by Fidelity. Not they're working with, they have a product of Fidelity's on their chain. They are backed by Fidelity. Nathan Lowmaster, $20 super chat. Dave and Rob go together like PB and J. Just curious, am I the peanut butter or am I the jelly in this? Just let me know. I'm curious. We need you both together again. Where's Rocco? Feels like I came home from deployment to a broken home. Rob will be back, I think, on Wednesday. And Rocco is no longer with us. And so I'm sure you guys kind of figured that out. But nothing bad. We didn't end on bad terms. He wanted time to focus on his merch business, which, by the way, if you guys want to support Rocco and his merch business, inandoutcrypto.com. Highly recommend you go on there. A lot of really, really, really good stuff in there. And so we love Rocco. We love having him here. And he's always welcome in studio whenever he wants. But he's no longer employed here at Sin City Crypto. So, all right. And also a big thank you for the super chat there, Nathan. Appreciate you, brother. So asymmetry finance. Again, this one is going to be a lot more risky. Very, very high risk. The market cap on this one, let's take a peek at the market cap. ASF, 9.3 million. Super low market cap. But with super low market cap comes super high potential upside. Okay? $1.30, 51 million total supply with, I believe, what, a fifth of it is circulating? I could be wrong. Oh, 7 million. So, again, not the best tokenomics. Not the best tokenomics at all, but something to keep in mind. Again, those are my three favorites. And so, ETH ecosystem, guys, heating up. And obviously, the big narrative runners, right? Or the big boys, Aave, Lido. Get positions in the ETH ecosystem, get some ETH ecosystem plays, and you'll make some money. Okay, I wanted to show... okay, let's talk about the giveaway here, the Decent giveaway. Okay, this is the wallet. Decent wants to give away 3 of these wallets. It's biometric, very simple to use. You download the app on your phone, and then it supports. It's like a ledger on steroids. Okay, and we're going to be giving 3 away. Gina, I'm putting you in charge. I know it's on the fly, and feel free to use the guys back there. Figure out a way for me to pick 3 winners to give wallets away to. We'll come back to it at the end of the show. I love putting people on the spot. Gina, you're up. Don't let me down. With that being said, let's watch this quick video here from Decent. Kind of gives you a breakdown of what exactly it is and what sets it apart. So this one doesn't have any. This one doesn't have any audio. Let me actually go like this and move this here. So again, it does have that biometric. It's got 24 word seed phrase, just like Ledger does. Very intuitive, and it was fairly easy to set up. And it just connects to your wallet, connects to the app via Bluetooth. And so again, we're giving away 3 of these for absolutely free. And Gina, once you figure out what people need to do to qualify to be in it, stop me in the middle of my talking, and then let's tell people what they need to do, and then we'll give away 3 of these before we stop the show today. 227 people watching, 250 people watching, 85 likes. Make sure you guys like the video. Let me take a peek if we had any questions in here. Felix said, why is Bitcoin dumping? We kind of went over that, Felix. I don't know if it's dumping. I would say people got in, and they made a lot of money, and they took profits, right? Here's the thing I want people to understand. You have institutions here now, and institutions don't give a shit about diamond hands, right? If I'm deploying $1 billion into the BlackRock ETF to get exposure to Bitcoin, I'm not looking at diamond hands. If I'm looking at diamond hands, I would just buy it spot and take it off an exchange, or buy it OTC, take it off, and self-custody it myself. So to us, a 20% gain in our portfolio is, it's okay. To these guys, a 20% gain on $1 billion is $200 million. That is a lot of money, okay? That is a lot of money. And so when you see big swings up, you're going to see pullbacks because these institutions and these traders are taking profits. Ricky said, thoughts on SBET stock. That's SharpLink, I believe. Took a dip. Good to buy some. Here, let me take a sip of this delicious Berry Freeze Prime, which Prime, by the way, if you're watching, we're looking for a drink sponsor. So the only reason you'd buy SharpLink is if you want, I can't do that, is if you want exposure to ETH. And if you want exposure to ETH, just buy Ethereum or buy the ecosystem. So that's my thing. Now, if you want to add it to your 401k or your IRA just as an extra thing, sure. Okay, great. But for me, it's not something that I'm interested in. I have ETH. I have my ecosystem plays in Ethereum. So, yeah. And then CJM said, will you change your name to Danielle if your price prediction on HBAR is not correct? No. I like my name. I'm not changing it. Also, drop your questions in the Q&A. I'll get to those randomly. Let's take a peek here at, which, by the way, are you going to be able to aggregate people in from there? You have a plan back there, Gina?
Apparently not.
Okay.
I just looked. Yeah, we just looked it up. So.
Okay. All right.
I'll figure it out. Don't
okay.
worry.
Maybe what we can do is we can have people, why don't we have people put a 1 in the chat if they want a wallet, and then we'll just pick 3 of them. Okay. Just keep track of the ones. All right. So if you want one of these wallets for free, okay, put a 1 in the chat, and then we'll pick 3 winners at the end of the show and give you guys
we could do a
info
straw
to get
poll too. We could do a little straw poll.
Straw poll? Yeah, well, whatever. I just don't want to give it to someone who doesn't want it.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So we need to make sure if you want it, put a 1 in the chat, and then we'll pull 3 winners. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk some macro here, guys. S&P surges to new record high and is now officially up over 30% since its April 2025 lows. We have just witnessed one of the best 3-month runs in stock market history. Hopefully you weren't sidelined. Pretty straightforward. This is interesting. Jerome Powell has just been referred to the Department of Justice for criminal charges for perjury related to his $2.5 billion renovation to the Federal Reserve building. Trump is pulling out all the stops to get rid of Jerome Powell. Not over the last 9 years, right? Over the last 9 years, since 2016, when Trump first appointed him. If you get a new Fed chair in there, you might see an initial surge, but investors, hedge funds, and institutions don't like uncertainty. And if you start cutting rates too fast, that could be bad for the market as well. So just one thing to keep in mind, guys. Yes, we want rate cuts. But those of you that think we're just going to get to 250,000 because Jerome Powell gets replaced, I tell you to proceed with caution. Can we get there? Absolutely. Will it happen? Probably, yeah. But my bet is you'll see a sharp pullback before that massive rally. Somebody should clip this, and we'll come back to it if it does actually happen. And then I do want to show this. This is Ethereum. Ethereum holders today. Let's take a listen to this. Looking good, Ethereum holders. We're looking good. We got that cleanup, the new shirt, press, iron, normal facial hair. And look at this handsome man right here. And obviously, guys, I'm not trying to make a light of the homelessness issue in the States. But it's true. It's like you lost all hope. You don't know what to do. You kind of let yourself go a little bit, right, as far as the hair, the goatee. And then you quit on ETH, and just when you quit on ETH, it starts rallying again. And so, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's chime in to what Paul Atkins, the new chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, talking about Bitcoin and crypto. Let's take a listen.
Chairman Atkins, just wonder what you think about a lot of companies we've heard from recently that are kind of copying MicroStrategy's technique when it comes to Bitcoin. MicroStrategy was all about Bitcoin and owning that asset. There are a lot of new firms that are doing the same thing with Ethereum now. They want to be the MicroStrategy of the Ethereum realm. We've had a couple of companies that have come on this program and talked about doing that, and I know of several others as well. How do you feel about that? How do you watch it? Some of them use leverage, some of them may not. But what do you think about an area that's seen some pretty big volatility, but also some pretty big gains?
Yeah, well, so similar to Bitcoin, I mean, the SEC has stated informally more than formally that Ether is not a security. And so, but it's obviously the...
Wow. It took Paul Atkins 2 weeks to say what Gary Gensler couldn't in 4 years. ETH is not a security. Wow.
ETH blockchain is very key component for a lot of other digital currencies. So, it's up to companies to decide where they want to put their money and what sort of strategy they have. Obviously, not for me to tell them, but I think it's encouraging that these sorts of digital assets are being embraced by the marketplace, and I think that provides a good future for development and further innovation in this sector.
What a breath of fresh air, right? That the Securities and Exchange Commission chairman is obviously, I mean, we were worried, right? Rob, more so me, that Paul Atkins, he was looked at as a very bullish for crypto SEC chair. And he said, we all thought Gary Gensler was going to be good for crypto. He taught at MIT. He knows Bitcoin. He knows blockchain. And well, look how that turned out. Seems like so far, Paul Atkins is the direct opposite of what Gary Gensler is, which is obviously great. It's a breath of fresh air. And so I think we're going to see a lot of innovation, man. We're going to see a lot of integration with traditional finance when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. That is why I continue to say, be positioned in projects that already have the infrastructure and the users there and the value there, not the promise of we're going to get it in the near future. And we also have this as well. This is pretty cool. This is posted by Senator Bill Hagerty. Genius Act is now law, a win for innovation, a blow to central planners. We broke down the full journey of the Genius Act. Take a look and listen.
The Genius Act has gained this bipartisan support because it presents common sense rules that protect consumers, promote competition, and foster innovation. It's time we provide the clarity and stability that our country and its innovators so desperately need.
It's going to enable us to take a very positive step in the direction of ensuring that the United States is a positive environment for cryptocurrency technology. Stablecoins is one of these issues that I think the United States can be a leader on.
Today, we're voting on the sixth version of the Genius Act, drafted with input from both Republicans and Democrats. And if senators would like the opportunity to make further modifications of the bill, I encourage them to vote for cloture.
Over the weekend, Democrats walked away, saying there need to be real changes to this bill and that Republicans will not jam us. It would be a real mistake to roll over and give away our votes without fixing this bill.
What she's doing is using a political argument to stir up controversy because she's been focused on the central bank digital currency. By its nature, this is decentralized. She's been opposed to this from the beginning. She fought this in the banking committee, and after close to 4 hours of debate in the banking committee, she was able to hold 4 Democrats on her side, but 5 came over with me and voted for us to put this out of committee.
Every Democrat today just voted shamelessly to stop our debate, to not even allow debate on this bill.
Politics and allow us to actually have a victory.
And I look forward to making history, hopefully this week, as we continue to make progress on the Genius Act.
Last week, in a bipartisan vote, the Senate passed the Genius Act.
Tennessee Republican Senator Bill Hagerty, who is the lead sponsor of the bill.
Very enthusiastic about the stablecoin legislation that I've led. We've been working on this for months. We have a strong bipartisan product.
The House passing the Genius Act, that will now head to President Trump's desk.
This is a very big thing, and I want to thank the bill's author, Senator Bill Hagerty, a very good friend of mine. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much, everybody.
You guys understand how big of a moment this was? The first ever crypto legislation to be signed into law. And so, man, what a journey it's been. And so big shout out to Senator Haggerty and everyone that supported that bill and got that thing across the finish line. All right, I'm taking a peek at some of the questions here. Any new ones? Miguel said, since you like AI agents and RWAs, what you think about a project that leverage blockchain tech and the agents to do the insurance niche? Uno. Not sure about Uno. I would have to look at it. I'm not going to give my thoughts on something I don't know anything about. But I'm not always a fan of merging two verticals and then, oh my God, it's going to blow up. No. I'd rather, like, the old saying of jack of all trades versus the master of one. I think that's where a lot of projects have fallen by the wayside. Look at Polygon. Look at Arweave, right? Arweave has been struggling. It's got great tokenomics, got a great team. They went from decentralized file storage, DeepIn, to AI, to the AO supercomputer, to now they have 3 tokens. My God, Polygon, you were an ETH layer 2 scaling solution. You were number 1 market share, yada, yada. Oh, we're doing an aggregator chain, and a ZK chain, and now we're all layer 1. And I don't know. But Miguel, to answer your question, or to not answer your question, I would have to look at it in more depth to really give you my thoughts on that project. I've never heard of it, so just something to keep in mind. Okay, let's move on to some other news. Polymarket, this is pretty big. Polymarket to officially return to the U.S. market after acquiring crypto derivative exchange QCX for $112 million. Those of you that know, on Polymarket, to use it, you couldn't be in the U.S. Some people use VPN, but now you're not going to have to worry about doing that. We know how big gambling and betting is in the United States. And Polymarket, you see it. You see this company referenced on every single podcast when they talk about odds and betting. You see it on the PBD podcast. You see it on our podcast. You see it on all the other ones. I think the President of the United States has talked about Polymarket as well. And so keep in mind, now, this is not like a stock or a ticker you can trade. You can try to go down the proxy rabbit hole. I would argue that this puts betting in the spotlight. And, well, what are some betting AI? You guys know D-King, AI on 5100, Billy Bets. There's a few other virtual agents ones. And so, but of course, these are going to be way further down the risk curve. But just something to kind of get those wheels going up top. We have this as well from Coinbase. The wait is over. Perpetual futures have arrived in the United States. No monthly expirations. Trade with up to 10x leverage. Week. Fees as low as 0.02%. Now you can trade perpetual style futures on Coinbase Financial Markets, a secure and CFTC regulated platform. This is something that Forrest has talked about numerous times. You're going to see, guys, you're going to see Robinhood. You're seeing Coinbase. You're seeing Kraken. You're seeing Crypto.com. This is going to be, and a lot of these exchanges that have been operating overseas because they can't get in the U.S., I'm not going to name any names, Bybit, they're going to have their word cut out for them because you're going to have companies like Coinbase, like Robinhood, who have the longevity, who have the name, the credibility, who have a track record, especially Robinhood, right, and Coinbase. And you got to ask yourself, if I have the option between the two, an offshore exchange or a U.S.-based publicly traded company that offers it, what am I going to go with? And a lot of people are going to go. And so how do you make money off that? Coinbase stock, Robinhood stock, right? Revenue comes in, hits the top line or the bottom line, and, investors speculate, price goes up, so does the price of each stock. Some altcoin news. This is pretty big. Shout out to the Caspians, the Caspa people. This is posted by CryptoGrad. Caspa smart contracts. Rob said last week, we don't have a date. Well, Rob, we have a date. August 31st, it's a date. Where are we going? We're going to Casplex, Layer 2, Mainnet, smart contracts. Game-changing moment for Caspa. So in my Caspa video from this morning, I did post this and kind of briefly talked about it. So go watch that video. And then Say. I think it's Raul in here. Raul's a big fan of Say. Raul or Miguel, one of the two. Say Network has been quietly stacking activity over the past 30 days. Active addresses jumped from 500K to a peak of 850K. That's a 70% climb. Even with some pullbacks, it's holding strong above the 700K mark. Steady build of traction or growing user base. And so say we actually hit a short on say on the stream on Friday. So, but that was just a swing trade. I have Say. I think Say is going to do great, right? Team or the founder, Jay Jog, ties to Robinhood. Used to, I think was their lead dev there at Robinhood. So big ties. They're looking to do something, I don't want to say unique, but something interesting, right? Essentially bridging the gap between centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges, more so the UI and the feel for the retail customer. And so, yeah, I'd recommend keeping your eye on Say. If you don't have any, have some targets set out, which maybe I'll do in the trading stream later in about 15 minutes. All right, let's go over some news here. This is an interesting one. Bitcoin bull run likely close to over, says trader, as XRP flips McDonald's. Get into XRP in a second. But is the market cycle over? No. I don't even know if it's close to being over. I would say we're about 40% into this market cycle. I think we're in a super cycle. Not for everything, definitely for Bitcoin, maybe for ETH, maybe for some altcoins. But this is the mass adoption phase, just like we saw with the internet back in the early 2000s. I think that's the phase we are in for Bitcoin. Unless we start seeing treasury companies slowing down, buys from the ETFs slowing down, which I don't think we're going to see anytime soon. I think super cycle, people say it all the time, but I don't know. Mike says we're in 90%. I don't think so, dude. I think we're in 45, 50%, maybe. I think Bitcoin gets to 250,000, 350K. But I think it's going to be more of a grind up versus just a one month rally to 6x for BTC. But I mentioned XRP flips McDonald's. Take a peek at this. $3.61. XRP up 72% over the last 1 hour, or excuse me, 1 month. You picked some up at $2.11. Congratulations. What a great buy that was. But XRP, my God, I mean, $10, like $8 to $10 in 4 months, dude. Maybe. I mean, you say that a year ago, I would have called you crazy and some other names probably. And man, this thing's running. But you're looking at XRP. It's got a fully diluted market cap of $361 billion. Now, I still obviously do think it's got legs, still got room to run, maybe a 2 or 3x from here, get to that $8 to $10 range. But I think the better ROI play is going to be to dig into that XRP ecosystem. And this is one that I've talked about on our show. Take a peek at this. This is DexRP, which again, they're looking to become the #1 DEX in the XRPL ecosystem. Take a look at this. What happened? No. We didn't lose internet, did we? No, I guess, okay. I guess the video's loading. But what this is pretty much looking to do, you guys, is it's looking to be the #1 DEX on XRP. Very similar to what Jupiter did for Solana as far as the routing, the aggregation, the fees, the UI, the UX. I think every layer 1 needs a Jupiter, and DexRP is looking to be the Jupiter for XRP Ledger. If you want more info, the one thing I will say, though, is they're currently raising money through an IDO, an initial DEX offering. So just keep in mind, those are going to be inherently more risky. But I still recommend you go check out their website. Those links are going to be in the description of this video. With that being said, you guys, we are done for the show today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thanks to Jimmy for helping us open up the club, or, well, opening it up into his damn self. And then I got a couple questions. Oh, the winners. Yes, the winners. We have 3 winners. Gina, who are the winners? And I will tell them what they need to do, please.
Okay. We got Poman13.
Okay.
We got, what is it? Las Cabrera. Okay.
Las the what?
Las Cabrera.
Las Cabrera.
And Brian Baca.
Okay. Poman, Brian Baca, and what was the last one?
Las, L-A-Z, and then Cabrera, C-A-B-R-E-R-A. I hope they're still in here.
Okay, guys, I need your emails. DM me on X at Sin City Crypto 1. Poman, you're good. We already have a conversation open. I'll just ping you. Brian, do me a favor. Send me a message on X at Sin City Crypto 1. And all I'm going to ask you is for your email, okay? Las Cabrera. Also, Brian and Las Cabrera, do me a favor. Put your X handle exactly the way it is so that when I get the message, I know it's not an imposter and I know it's you. So Las Cabrera and Brian Baca, put your X handle exactly how it's shown on your profile, and we'll make sure either I will reach out or you can reach out to me. I don't know. It'll be y'all. If you happen to see it after the show is over, just drop a comment in the comment section when the live show is over, but try to get it in now while we're still live. So congrats to all of you, and thank you guys for supporting the channel. And big thank you to Decent for giving away 3 of these badass wallets to our community. That'll do it for the show today. Want to thank you all for tuning in. It was a pleasure. D-Jenny, Crypto Dave, if you want to give it. I can't. I only got 3 to give away, brother. Sorry. All right. That'll do it for the show today. Stay here. You'll come join me. Sistine Trading. We'll be breaking down the charts in about 5 to 10 minutes. I love you guys. Gina. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. We'll have magic and money in the house. We have all of us here. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, like I said 10 times. Bye.
Sin City, crypto, everybody know we here for entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in then you win, we divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I spit the game but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite, I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners, special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners, ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors, they gonna teach us mean coins, they polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin, laggers we trade them in, baddies they came to sin, and sinners gon' play to win, screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon then to the solar, won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya, it's over, when the finger tornado close ya.